What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully everyone is doing well. So for one of our first horror news updates for the day, as you know, we've concluded our episode by episode, week over week review and viewing of Dexter Original Sin. And I think it's been a week, maybe a week and a half since, actually almost a full week since we got the final episode of Dexter Original Sin. And it didn't take long for season 2 talks to already start coming about. And I think this is probably the first article I've seen or of any mention of season 2. And it's not just the author of the article mentioning it. So I want to be clear. It's actually Clyde Phillips who's mentioning season 2 and being quoted in this article, which I thought was pretty interesting as well, because again, this is the first time he's even mentioned anything to do with season 2. Now, if you haven't seen Dexter Original Sin, there might be some spoilers in this article. There might not be. I don't think there's going to be enough spoilers in here to ruin all 10 episodes of that series for you if you haven't seen it yet and you planned on just binge watching it once it was all out and released. So feel free to continue watching this video, and again, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. However, there could be spoilers, so I just want you to be prepared for that. Now, if you have seen it, I definitely want to know what your thoughts are, not just on the series, but also if you felt if it was even necessary. And I think I spoke upon that in almost every episode review we did. I didn't feel the overall series, whether it's a one and done, whether or not we actually do get a season 2, was even necessary. Much of what was covered, we heard about, we saw even in flashbacks in the original Dexter series where Michael C. Hall was playing his younger self, and there was even an aspect in there where he was playing his younger self at or around the time he would have been in the prequel series. So some of those things didn't make sense. And there's even been, since the show is now fully ended, been additional deep dives into this where, various characters were never, key characters in this prequel series were never named in the original series. For example, like Bobby, Harry's partner, who appeared to be his partner for quite some time. Dexter never makes mention of him. Dexter's boss, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, never made mention of in the original series. And you would think she would have been mentioned by Dexter and maybe even Deb, since she was the reason Deb even decided to join the police academy and become a police officer. So you would have thought at some point that would have come up. Aaron Spencer, the captain, who became came out as the primary villain of the overall series, never mentioned once in the original series. So there's a lot of disconnects in my opinion, which I don't think help the series in my opinion. Apparently though, it's pretty popular amongst, I guess, the hardcores. So let's get into this article here. He'll have to learn how to blend better. Dexter Original Sin creator shares hopes for season 2. So over the weekend, the well-received Dexter prequel, Dexter Original Sin, ended its first season with a bang, leaving fans hungry for more episodes. Side note, I'm not necessarily hungry to see this story continue as far as a second season following Dexter and Harry and Deb, and how now she's in the, I'm sure there will be some level of a time jump now where we see Deb's in the police academy, or she's just coming out of the academy. She's a uniform officer. And we now start to see Harry's, downward spiral and not being able to handle, what's going on with Dexter as Dexter's gotten more, he's honed his killing skills a bit more. I'm not interested really to see that. I'm not really interested even seeing the Trinity prequel series. If you want to give me a prequel series that I felt was teased a bit here that could be done, is on Brian. Give me a prequel series on Brian Moser, the ice truck killer. Give me that one. Where this series ended, pick up his story from there and take me right up into the point of that season in Dexter, ice truck killer. And then from that point forward, whatever we saw in the original series is how we saw the story play out. But give me that prequel series, how he became far more worse than Dexter was and far more darker by just killing random people. So, however, a renewal is yet to be announced. Not to worry, that should happen. That should happen in a bit, given the positive attention it has received, including becoming Showtime's most streamed premiere with over 2.1 million global cross-platform viewers upon its release. If the numbers were that good, and we know numbers can be lied about. We've seen, Disney Plus. We've seen them get called out a few times on their Star Wars stuff lately this year, actually last year, on how good some shows were doing and how the numbers were so high, and then all of a sudden when the shows ended and months had gone by, when the true facts are coming to the table and we found out the numbers really weren't that good, and that's what was prompting those shows to be canceled or part of it. I don't think I don't think this is I don't believe this is the situation. Now, I'm not going to believe this until we actually have some sort of factual information in front of us, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is 100% true, that this was Showtime's most streamed premiere. I mean, people love the Dexter story. They love that Dexter verse. So with this original sin coming back, again, your hardcores, we're going to be all in for it. So again, I'm not surprised to see this. With a second season of the crime drama Intimate comic book, had a chat with its creator Clyde Phillips, who also serves as showrunner for the spinoff, as well as Dexter seasons 1 through 4 and Dexter New Blood. The discussion centered on the events of the Patrick Gibson-led series and what's ahead when the title character returns. When asked about the journey from the Dexter Original Sin season 1 finale to the original series, Phillips said, so here we go. It will become the biggest Easter egg in the world. We need to see him grow in several ways. He'll have to learn how to blend better. He will have to learn how to kill better and more efficiently. So next season, so that's key there. So next season, does he get his boat? Does he get his apartment? Does he start wearing the Henley? Does he start doing the red string thing? Those are things that we're going to explore. It'll be like coming home for the audience with the music, Michael C. Hall voice, which is crucial to the show. So then there's much more ahead in the Dexter franchise. So this just talks about the wrap up of that. We talk about Michael C. Hall reprising his role from the original series again, and it gives those dates. We know he's coming back for Dexter Resurrection, which is mentioned here, which is supposed to come out June or July this year. I want to say June of this year. We know that they're currently filming, at least last we heard from Clyde Phillips on this Dexter Resurrection series, they were filming it. All the scripts were done. They were just filming it, but it should be ready by June of this year. Again, that is my understanding of the situation. Here we have, we've covered this on previous daily updates before. We have some additional casting that was announced in late January 2025 on who's joining Dexter Resurrection. We've also talked about as far as like who the main villains are going to be, as far as how that's going to play out. And you can find Dexter Original Sin on Paramount Plus if you happen to have it. So I mean, I'll give Dexter Resurrection a chance. I mean, I'll see what it's about. I mean, I have always said I'll give any movie or TV series a chance to win me over. I'm open to that. However, I'm not going to be shy about whether or not I do or don't like it. Now, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it, and vice versa. That's why I also always recommend go watch it for yourself. And if you enjoy it, that's awesome. I'm happy you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, like myself, I didn't fully enjoy this. I thought there were even some major story plot points that were just left on the table. And I've talked about that over and over again in the episode breakdowns. So if you want to know more details about that, go check those out. But again, I've spared no expense as far as holding back my words when it comes to things I think they should have explored in this prequel series to make it just a little bit different, I would guess, to put Dexter on his heels a bit more, put Harry on his heels a bit more, instead of just throwing, I think, pivotal story points away so easily. So, all right, everyone, that is going to do it for today's first horror news update on Dexter Original Sin. Will we be getting a season 2? And apparently, based on the numbers, based on audience reaction, and apparently that quote from Clyde Phillips, it sounds like he's expecting a season 2, but it sounds as if he's just waiting for the official green light as we are. Which, to be honest, since the show just ended, I wouldn't be surprised if they either do one of two things. We get it leading up to the release of Dexter Resurrection, or it happens, sometime during or after. One of those three scenarios could play out. Otherwise, if it doesn't happen around that time, I don't think we're gonna get it at all. And I think what they might do is say, hey, let's do Dexter Resurrection, see how that works out, which will then determine, do we move forward with the Dexter Trinity prequel series? And if it doesn't pan out and they decide to abandon that series altogether, they might fall back on and say, well, hey, let's just finish out Dexter Original Sin because it was so well received and then call it a day. So, I mean, they have a lot of avenues they can go, but I think it's obviously really going to depend upon audience response and reactions to Dexter Resurrection, in my opinion. So, all right, everyone, that's going to do it for today. Make sure to drop a comment in the comment section, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.